my slam time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my slam time. Gonna mess up your whole mind. This is my slam time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my slam time. Gonna mess up your whole mind.
Welcome to Work the Left Side. I'm hyped to announce tonight's guest. It is Mathias Havana. How are you doing, dude? You good?
Yeah, buddy.
Yes. I got it right.
You did.
Yes. Little blooper reel moment for the future. Literally 5 before I hit record, I was literally just like saying the name over and over and over again. Like, I will not mess this up. I will not mess this up. I've messed up so many names recently. Cannot mess this one up. So, dude, yes, we did it.
Absolutely.
How we doing, mate? You good?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Oh, mate, all good. 5 by 5. Too blessed to be stressed, in the words of Lou Nixon. Yeah, man, just looking forward to this because obviously anyone who knows the show knows the episode, knows what we do. I'm back in pursuit. I'm talking to somebody who had the awesome logic and common sense to be like, I want to be a wrestler. I'm going to go to Pursuit. So we'll get the generic thing out of the way. Why wrestling? Why Pursuit? Been a fan from a young age. Was it a drunken bet, which I have heard before? What made you take those steps?
So, bit of a long story. I'm not going to lie.
Go for it.
So one night I came back from college, and I was like, okay, I'm going to watch YouTube because I've had a bit of a stressful day. First thing that comes up is, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, UWC in the States. And it was a tag match. It was the Northeast Power Trip against Philly Mike Swanson and the Gargantuan. And it was that match in particular that got me interested. And as soon as the comeback phase happened in the match, I was hyped up and I was like, okay, I want to do this. So then, me being young, because at the time I was only 17, going into 18, I went downstairs and I said to my mum, I want to do this. I've been hyped about it. I want to do it. So then we get online and we search up for wrestling schools. And this is where people are probably going to hate me. First one that comes up, well, especially Nathan Black, because he hates this. First place that comes up, 1PW.
Doncaster, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'll do a bit of research on this and see if it takes me liking. And then it's like, no, it's too big for me. But now it's gone out of business, so there wasn't any chance of me going there anyways. Next place that comes up, UKW in Batley. And I was considering it. I was like, should I, shouldn't I? But then I was thinking about it with the train fares and then the taxi and buses and everything. I was like, fuck that. I'm sorry for the language, by the way.
No, good.
And then I scroll further down, PPW, Sheffield. That's fucking perfect because my grandparents live there as well, so I can go visit them afterwards. Fucking perfect. We go onto the website and I inquire through the email bit at the bottom. And then I'm pretty sure not even a day later, Liam got back to me like, hi Matthew, feel free to come down. We'll have a chat and see what you think. I was hyped. I'm not gonna lie. So then we go down, me and my mum, on a Saturday morning, I'm pretty sure. Saturday morning, we go down, I meet Liam, We talk about it. We talk about the 6-week beginners program that is very famous because of Liam and because of Nathan as well. And we're like, yeah, okay. So then after the chat, I come back home and I'm like, I want to fucking do this. I'm fucking hyped. So then we email back, this is absolutely what I want to do. How much would it cost? Liam gave me the price. I'm not gonna throw that out there. And I was like, that's a lot. You're a dick, but I'll fucking pay it anyways. Paid it, went down, and it pretty much started from there as well. I got in the ring and I ran the ropes for the first time. And I was like, Jesus Christ, these are stiff as fuck. But then I carry on doing it. And I even say to Liam, throughout the entire process of the 6 weeks, my frown went to a massive smile. I was like, this is absolutely what I want to do. And then nearly 2.5 years later, we're here.
Dude, that's awesome. That's the thing as well. It's great to hear, you know, that you just, the excitement, you know, the fact that you just, like you say, you're watching it and it's just like that penny drops. It's like, right, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm excited about. You know, yeah, you have a look around, do your research, obviously eliminate the not so good options and then end up at Pursuit. It's like, all right, sweet.
Absolutely.
You know, plus, you know, you're there with your godfather, Mr. Radu Bullats.
I hate that so bad. Right, so for a bit of context throughout that, because people will be assuming everything pretty much. So I'm pretty sure it was after mine and Radu's first match, which was March last year. And I got my ass kicked. I'm not even going to lie. Radu asked my mum about, oh, I've got some merch coming out. Would you like to buy some for Matthias? Sorry. Jesus Christ. And my mum was like, no, I'm good. If there's any merch I'd buy, it's his. And Radu was like, yeah, cool. And then after that, we come back. Radu's messaging my mum. Right, notice how I say, and Radu, if you're watching, notice how I say that you text my mum first. Do not get that misconstrued. Prick. And then it all just kind of divulged from there. Like, oh, Matthias' mum and Radu are in a romance or in a relationship. It's like, no, piss off. Absolutely not. And then it's all just kind of divulged from there. Me and Radu have had 3 or 4 matches together and it's still going.
Fight forever. For your mum's honour. For your mum's honour. Dude, sorry, when I said that I was having, you know, he's coming on the show, he literally replied back, said, oh, nice, it'll be nice for you to speak to my godson. And I was like, and literally about 2 minutes later, there's a story behind it. It's not, you know, I'll tell you about it, you know, when we speak. I was like, fuck, you know, legitimately, I was like, wow, okay. So yeah, there we go. So I have Mr. Bullat to thank for that. So I was like, it's too good an opportunity. I had to mention something, so I thought I'd just throw it out there. So yeah, obviously, you know, when you start training, obviously, like I said, you know, you got into it from the YouTube thing, watching the match on there, getting hyped. Did you have any other kinds of? Did you start working, thinking, right, I want to be this kind of a wrestler, or I want to have this kind of a moveset, or was it just a case of try everything and see what fit?
So when it comes to like what I watched to get me inspired into it, it wasn't just UWC. And a lot of people will be expecting, because of all this, it's like, oh, WWE, Roman Reigns, Samoan Dynasty. It's not just that. It was Lucha Underground as well when it was around. Mainly Pentagon, like just like his style and how he carries himself in the ring was very unique to me, and I was like, okay. But then also throughout it, I was like, if I'm doing this, I want this to feel natural, and I want this to be authentic, not just a copy of someone else's, but of how I carry myself in a real life situation as well. And that's kind of how it is. And I know there'll be people saying like, "Oh, you copy Roman Reigns or Solo Sikoa." It's like, no, that feels natural to me, and that's how I love to carry myself, whether it's throughout the ring or in a real life situation.
That's what, yeah. I mean, obviously, they sort of say, you kind of want some of that truth in there because it's easier to tap into. All you've got to do is just turn it up to 11, and then you can kind of like, that's one less. If you're thinking about like a totally random character who's not you, that's something else to concentrate on whilst also trying to concentrate on the match kind of thing. Whereas if it's just you turned up to 11, you can kind of put a pin in that and be like, right, it's going to come naturally. I can concentrate on the match, what I'm doing, the psychology, stuff like that. So that's why I just presume, that it makes it a little bit easier. Not obviously, it's still crazy hard, but yeah, if it's just you turned up to 11, mate, just go with whatever's natural.
Absolutely.
The Penta, I've got to admit, I think you're one of the first people that shouted him out, which is crazy because I love the guy. I think the guy's amazing, but it's not a name that gets mentioned of a lot as an inspiration or source of material kind of thing. But yeah, I love Penta. I think Penta's awesome. Lucha Underground was groundbreaking for me. When you go back and watch that stuff, mate, that was crazy. Just so good when it ended.
Absolutely. Like for me, I think it was, like as you said, groundbreaking, and I think it was revolutionary when it comes to like not just lucha libre, but also that kind of die-hard smash and grab craft. Because like when it came to, let me have a think here. There's like, so Brian Cage, the Monster Matanza, and I want to say Vampiro as well. It was kind of like a mix of everything, so it wasn't just lucha libre, it was everything else, and I felt like that was really unique and revolutionary when it comes to wrestling.
Oh, definitely. I think it was ahead of its time as well. You think about some of the the talent that was involved in it and kind of matches that they were having. It's just, it was fast paced, it was non-stop, it was just in your face. It's perfect kind of combination of wrestling and television and storylines and just using your talent to the full potential. It was the ECW thing of hiding anyone's weaknesses, and they just emphasized everybody's strengths for the most part, and it just it was awesome. So going forward then, obviously training at Pursuit, doing what you're doing, the whole I Fight Alone moniker, how did that come about? Was that just sort of like not a fan of tag?
So with the I Fight Alone moniker, that's me kind of like based off of a lone wolf mindset. It's like I can't really trust anyone. I have like this part's issue as well. I have major trust issues, and I find it better to fight by myself, fight alone. Singles matches or like not tag matches, basically.
Yeah.
But then as time went along, and you'll have seen on Pursuit, me and Matty Carter, being honest, Matty Carter is someone that I can relate to a lot because a lot has happened with both me and him. We're both very much alike, and I thought that like we could come together on that kind of mindset. But then, as time has also gone on, I have had to go back to the I Fight Alone moniker that I am known so much about.
I think again, it's just different dimensions to yourself and the training and what you're doing and the possibilities that it gives you on shows. Like I said, you got that whole thing where, like, no, I'm just by myself, don't need anyone else. Like, say, I fight alone, and then somebody else comes in, and it's like, oh, okay, maybe, this person could be trusted. Maybe we can work together. And then it's like, ah, fuck it, right? No, right, I'm by myself again. It just makes it even more, set in stone. It's like, no, mate, right? I am just myself. A lone wolf, not a Scottish wolf, just a lone wolf. You're there. You got your own back, and like I said, you're the only one you can trust.
Exactly.
That's a match right there, man. Sorry, dude. Hopefully, the lone wolf versus the Scottish wolf and a wolf off.
Lone fighter versus the Scottish wolf. I've had so many people come at me like, you need to go one-on-one with him. You need to do this to him. And then I've had one of my mates going, you just need to kill him. And I'm like, fucking Jesus, calm down.
Animal cruelty. I'll say the only connection is, the whole, it's not even really a connection. It's not part of your name. It's just like I said, it's a mantra. It's the lone wolf kind of thing. So, well, if that match, if you guys want to fight, then, but I'm not going to advocate to have a wolf off just because of the wolf. The ring gear as well, though, dude. Like that. Again, it's just in this business something that makes you kind of stand out, look a little bit different. Obviously, the picture I used for the episode graphic, very MMA sort of. I'm getting an MMA kind of vibe, from the ring attire.
Absolutely. When it comes to my ring attire, it's kind of evolved throughout time. So when I first started, it was just plain black with the like white sleeve. And that for me was like, should I stick with this? Shouldn't I stick with this? Or should I just carry on? And then it got to a point where we got to the first one-on-one with me and Radu. After that, I wanted to kind of go with, okay, that was a wake-up call. Now it's time for me to evolve myself. Then came the Blue Dragon, as I like to call it. First match with that, me and... Should I say his name? Shouldn't I say his name? Fuck it, I'm going to say his name anyways. Orange Shoes Luca Blake. And I lost, but I felt like that was a good evolution for me when it came to not only my gear, but myself in general. But with the way that I am now with like my gear, as you can tell with like the Nordic symbols, like the Viking symbols, I feel like for me that carries a bit of an enchantment throughout like my match. So like it's enchanting me to be able to do what I need to do. Exactly. And as you said, like, yeah, MMA based. Like that is kind of me as well. Bit of an MMA background, smash and grab, ground and pound kind of thing as well. But yeah, yeah, it's a lot of that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So obviously to touch on that, then the MMA background kind of thing. There's always, did you do like the martial arts and stuff then prior to wrestling, or just as an MMA fan, or?
Bit of both. I grew up watching quite a bit of UFC, but also there was amateur MMA as well that I got into. I got into a little bit of taekwondo back in school, and also a little bit of jiu-jitsu as well growing up.
Cool. Obviously, jiu-jitsu comes in very handy with the throws and the leverages and the using the other person's strength, to your advantage. I always think it's interesting when if I speak to people who kind of even just dabbled or been hardcore martial artists before getting into wrestling. The transition kind of thing, like the footwork, being able to move around the ring, going between moves, and just having a slightly smoother transition from day one than if it was you started from scratch. So I just think it helps. Oh, the feedback I get is that it helps, even just in a little way. It's just
it does for me. It comes hand in hand because like footwork, it's very similar. Not like with crossing your feet when you're going side to side, because then that'll get you tripped up. It comes a lot hand in hand, as you said before, using your opponent's like strength and momentum against them. Very helpful when it comes to wrestling.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Love the whole Nordic stuff as well. Anyone knows me knows I'm a massive Mark. I'm kind of got this bracelet on at the minute, which is my sort of Valhalla bracelet. Got Manjona thing behind me as well. Anything like that, I think it's awesome. That automatically gets my interest as well. That ought to kind of, even if he was a heel though, I'd be like, I kind of want to cheer this guy because that's kind of awesome. He likes the same things as me. I've got to like him. I like that side of things. You've mentioned obviously numerous matches with Radu. Mr. Orange Shoes just got mentioned. Who else have you worked with at Pursuit that kind of stands out for you? Like either as just a massive learning curve, just another step in the evolution, something that helps you progress.
So when it comes to Pursuit, Carl Lawson has been a really big help for me. Not just like with his style, but with like his feedback on my craft when it comes to being in the ring. Even though I've only had the one match with him and I got injured in that match. Who else could I say without mentioning a certain someone? Fuck it, I don't care. When I was first getting into it, my second show for Pursuit, me and the Turquoise Terror. I'll say this straight up. Cool fucking dude. Really cool. Unfortunate that he's just disappeared. But if he is to come back, I'd love to throw down with him again.
Nice. Very cool. I've got to sort of mention Lawson, like you sort of said. Anytime, Big Lawson gets mentioned, love to show him love. Legitimately an amazing human being. He's been a massive help for me on this channel. He's been on the show a few times now. It's nice to hear him be acknowledged and mentioned and appreciated. So there we go. The injury though, what was the injury? Hopefully it wasn't too bad. You just kind of
growing up, I was a bit of a dumb kid. And I dabbled in parkour.
Oh,
yeah, bit juicy. And I'd normally slip up and get myself put in the hospital. But then with my match with Lawson, it was a triple threat: me, him, and Kieran McQueen. It was my first ever triple threat match. And So straight up, I was supposed to take a chop. I accidentally put my hands in the way because of natural reflexes. And then I sold it anyways, like I will. And then I'm on the ground, on all fours. What happens? Bang. Massive, stiff boot right to the ribs. And as soon as that happened, I got out of the ring and I was like, I'm done. I could not breathe at all. And then I even said to the ref, because we had Lee, I'm pretty sure, love him by the way, like I can't continue, I cannot breathe, and I'm in a lot of pain. He put the X up, and then I went backstage. I nearly went pale because of the fact that I could not breathe at all. And that's probably my worst match because of the fact that I could not continue. And even backstage, I was completely disappointed because of the fact that I could not continue and I had to bow out.
It's one of those things, though, dude. You know, I mean, it can't be helped. As they say, you know, it ain't ballet. But it's a freak occurrence, unfortunately. But you know, you can't beat yourself up about it. You can't continue. You can't continue. You know, it's just like shit. You know, it is what it is. Hope, you know, next match, just kind of make up for it, kind of thing. But it's not on you. It's not on, you know. It's just one of those things. So, but obviously mentioning Refa Lee. If it was Refa Lee, you know, happy birthday to him as well. I think it was his birthday yesterday as well. It was like a kind of a show yesterday for his birthday. So, but yeah, was it then obviously you kind of putting it down. Then you mentioned, you know, in the younger age doing the parkour and stuff like that, taking a few bumps and bruises. Is it just a bit prone then? Is it just a bit of a case of like just the slightest thing and it could be like, just be careful?
Yeah,
around that.
a lot of like, I'm basically injury prone. So like not major injuries, but like the minor injuries. So I'll get stabbing pains every now and then. It's like, well, I shouldn't have done that growing up, should I?
You live and you learn, but you know, as long as you had fun at the time, you know, it is what it is. But again, that's another thing. That's awesome. You know, the whole parkour thing. I've always been fascinated with that kind of thing as well. You know, love watching the stuff on YouTube about it. Anytime it gets used in film, again, anyone who knows me knows I'm a massive film mark. You know, I've seen it in like Kingsman and stuff like that. There's a French film called District 13, which is basically just a parkour action film. That shit's awesome to me. I love it. But again, you know, I think wrestling wise, John Morrison is a massive, you know, example
Absolutely. Yes.
of how it can, you know, how you can tap into that and use it for this kind of thing. Another reason I've always been a massive fan of John Morrison, you know, is just parkour and wrestling. Dude, that shit's awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, obviously, you know, it kind of left you a bit banged up. Are you tempted to kind of, you know, take it up a level and change the character a little bit to have that included, or is it just a case of like, no, I'm staying grounded. This is what I'm doing.
It's a fact of I'm staying grounded. Parkour is in my past. No fucking way I'm bringing that back out. I'm not that. I might be a bit of an idiot and a bit of a psychopath. I'm not that bad.
I can't fault you, dude. I say, you know, especially like you sort of said, you know, you can only go to the hospital so many times before you're like, right, okay, I'll just stand back and appreciate it from afar and just, I'm not going to touch that anymore. Talk about inspiration, obviously, you know, I'm just saying there about, you know, the parkour, using that as inspiration and stuff. You've mentioned, you know, like Reigns, you know, the Nordic stuff. The Nordic stuff, obviously, you kind of take from history, take that from, you know, real life stuff. Speaking to people previously, and a few people kind of advocate looking at films or looking at TV shows and getting inspiration from there, and not so much wrestling. So you're not kind of being compared to anybody else, kind of thing. So I don't know. Is there any kind of TV shows or films that you do you ever kind of sit there and watch something and just be like light bulb moment?
Yes.
I could use that.
For me, this would be very much common because of who's in it. Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious for me is literally my favorite movie series of all time.
Really? Wow.
Absolutely. It was mainly, and as soon as I say this, I'm going to be made fun of it by OJ. I already know. Fast and Furious Hobbs and Shaw, where they went to Samoa.
Yeah.
Because of like all of this. I already know, but that was like light bulb moment. Like, yep, fuck it.
Nice. I don't know how well it will show up on the screen, but I've got the
Nice.
I can relate. But yeah, I'm sorry. I know Hobbs and Shaw is very much like Marmite. I love that film. I watched it literally. We watched it like 2 days ago. I fucking love that film. The ending, just the OTT-ness of it. I'm just a massive fan of when people look like they're having fun, and they look like they're having fun on that film. The dialogue, the banter. Ryan Reynolds turns up. Freaking Kevin Hart turns up. It's just, I love it. I will still stand by though. If anybody wants to go at me, the first Fast and Furious film is just basically Point Break in cars. They remade Point Break and did it in cars. I didn't hear it voice. So still a good film though. It's just no Point Break, but I do get it's pure escapism kind of thing. Even Tokyo Drift still worth a watch.
Yeah.
But,
Tokyo Drift was very unique because it's like Fast and Furious is now not only like, oh, let's race and then we decide shit from there, because it's now a full-on action movie. It's like not just racing. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot your brains out or whatever. Like it's unique to say the least.
It elevated or it escalated, I would say. From being like you sort of said, the first few films, obviously just very racing based, fast-paced action in that sense, to just basically jumping from fucking building to buildings, jumping over fucking roads with fucking massive gaps in the middle, and just like, right, what did we do last time? Okay, shit, right, we need to level up. Right, we need to outdo what we did last time. And it's just fucking, I'm just waiting for fucking Fast and Furious 11 in space or something. They become astronauts and just fuck off on moon buggies and they're racing around the moon.
I'm pretty sure they've already done that as well. Like they went to space in a Toyota with a rocket engine strapped to it.
I haven't seen the last one, so if that happened in the last one, then I apologise. But wow, there we go. It's just amazing. Just the cast list, the amount of people that turn up in them now. Like Kurt Russell turning up, Charlize Theron. Obviously, John Cena stepped up to replace The Rock. That can start any amount of arguments with wrestling fans. Just about Cena being a poor man's Rock. But I'm a fan of Cena, so I won't go down that road. But yeah, dude. So obviously, Fast and the Furious stuff. Anything else? I mean, I presume. I'm going to go out on a limb. Do you watch? I've watched it about 3 or 4 times now. But Vikings, and it's on Amazon Prime. It was on History Channel originally. I'm a massive mark for Vikings. I love that TV show.
Okay, with Vikings, I've seen a lot of it on TikTok.
Right.
I haven't seen the movie itself because I do not have Amazon Prime.
Okay.
It's been recommended to me a lot because I love listening to Viking music, Peyton Parrish. But no, I haven't actually seen the movie itself.
It's a TV series, so don't go looking for a film. Look for a TV series. It ran for about 7 series. Highly recommend it. It's awesome. Starts off really fucking good and kind of dips a little bit at the end. In my opinion, Edge turns up though, which is cool.
Oh, nice.
He's just rocking the big Viking. He's just a big bastard, isn't he? But on the flip side, if you've got Netflix,
I
if
do.
you can't watch Vikings, Last Kingdom would be my secondary pick.
Ooh.
You get a chance.
I will definitely have a look as soon as I get the chance.
Yes. Starts off slow, but gets better. So it's kind of the opposite of Vikings. So Vikings starts off great, dribbles. Lost Kingdom starts off all right and gets fucking amazing by the end, and then you get a film. So yeah, give it a go, dude. So, let me know what you think.
Awesome.
But I'm obviously not expecting you to be coming out to the ring at any time soon, kind of big fucking sword or
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I've got like 3 katanas upstairs in my room, but absolutely not, because more than likely I'll get into trouble for it.
You know. So going forward, what's the what we're looking at? Sort of. Obviously, you won't. It's a stupid question. Apologies. I retract that. I know what going forward. Obviously, people want to get bookings. They want to be on shows. They want to do this. They want to do that. That's an obvious thing. But how are you going out? Because obviously, I hear it all the time. Networking is like 87% of the business kind of thing.
Yeah.
You need to be there doing what you're doing, letting people see your face. Are you able to? Are you going out and about places just to kind of like to go watch stuff as a fan, but also get yourself seen?
I've been trying. I've been trying to get myself on a few like smaller shows. One that I've kind of been able to. I've been in touch with them. New British Promotions. I've been in touch with them. I've sent them what they wanted me to send, and they was like, "Yeah, cool. Next show, we'll try to get you booked." But then when it comes to rocking up to places, I've rarely had time because of work and because of a lot of real life factors that are coming into play quite extreme now.
I know it's obviously it's easiest. I know it's easier said than done. Some going out and about, especially traveling wise and stuff like that. So, but you're based in Doncaster, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So I know it's not like not being in Sheffield itself or being in Leeds. No, it's a train ride over, then a train ride back.
Yeah.
Shows finish at 10, 11 o'clock at night. That does you over, kind of thing. So I know it's easier said than done, but fingers crossed for for who you do reach out to. But I think you've got good people around you who can help, get you places. Because obviously that's the thing about Pursuit is anybody who watches wrestling in the Yorkshire area and sort of the surrounding areas now, even up to Newcastle, are starting to see a hell of a lot of people, from Pursuit just taking over shows, basically, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I've said this again and again, and I'll say it 1,000 times more. Pursuit Pro Wrestling is the best of the best. We are the best of the best. Especially with like being able to learn under such big names. So not only Liam Slater, which I've seen you've had on here multiple times, but also Jordan Oliver, who we've had, Flying Mike Bird, who we've had, Red Scorpion, who we've had, and just like all these big names, they've helped out quite a bit, and it's got us all out there. So not only like in England, but Scotland, Ireland, Germany, Barcelona, Spain, like all of those places, Italy even. It's absolutely amazing that we've got so many people coming in, teaching us, and just helping us get better and better.
I see. I mean, yeah, the source of information, the amount of knowledge you guys have got access to is crazy. Those people you mentioned there, like I said, the the overseas shows that Pursuit do, you know, and they like sort of said they go to Mexico, they go to Italy, they go to Spain, they go to here, there, and everywhere, which for a wrestling school is freaking mind blowing kind of thing. But yeah, you just had Nina Samuels up, you had Nathan Cruz, Chris Masters, obviously the people you mentioned before. I think you've got Joseph Connors coming up if he's not already been.
I believe he has. The next one we've got is Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger, that's it. Yeah. He's over because I've noticed him on a few shows, few posters for local shows around the area, kind of thing. So he's getting his shows in whilst he's over. But do you find those sort of seminars obviously, you know, useful then? You know, is it just a case of like literally just being sat there and just trying to suck it all in, you know, absorbing the knowledge? Obviously, it's not all going to be good, but you know, if you can take stuff out, that helps.
Absolutely. When it comes to the seminars, I've only been on a few of them, but I have found them quite useful when it comes to different crafts. So not just like my strikey kind of craft. When it comes to like high flying or technical or a little bit of like mixed and everything, it's really useful, and it's really useful for the experience wise as well, being able to learn from such big names, have their experience, and also get their feedback. It's really helpful, and it's really helped out a lot.
That's what I say. Not everything they say is gonna mean something, but it's finding those like the nuggets of awesomeness for your character. Obviously, everybody's going to take different things out of everything. It's just making sure you take out what you can take out that you can then transform into yourself to elevate your game. I was just sorry. Just that's what Pursuit do really, really well. I'm always really self-conscious now, but I don't want to become the Pursuit show kind of thing. I don't want to just hype up Pursuit. You know, House of Pain, Future Shock, Temple, loads of other great schools out there, Hardcraft. It's just, let's say, it's a location thing. I'm very close to Pursuit. I see a lot of talent from Pursuit on shows, and yeah, I know Lee and Nathan are just absolutely tearing it up and absolutely, you know, smashing it there kind of thing. So I think, you know, I've got Madden on in a few weeks as well, so that's another person from Pursuit I've got coming on soon.
Absolutely. But
so
it's really ironic as well, because Madden is also my tattoo artist. Like, he's done all of the like Samoan craft and everything, and it's I think you'll have a lot of fun with that.
Nice. So you didn't sit there with like a freaking chisel. Oh wow! So they're not authentic then.
No, it wasn't like how they do. So like with the tong-tongs, like and you sat there for like 7 hours. It's like, so it's with the tattoo pen, and I'm just sat there, writhing in agony. I'm not gonna lie, but it does take quite a bit of time.
No, dude, I know. I wouldn't expect it to have been that. Mine wasn't as well. I'm not saying mine was. You know, exactly the same thing. Tattoo gun, nice 4-hour session, bish bash bosh. So, but yeah, Madden. That's how we actually ended up being on the show. He did a tattoo for Ben from FastCount, and I got a message from Ben like later that day, being like, "Oh, I've just got a new tattoo." You know, Madden did it. Trains at PPW. Do you want him on your show? I can ask him if you want. So yeah, you know, I'm always open to talk to anyone from Pursuit kind of thing. So yeah, there we go. Bish bash bosh. You did a tattoo. Goes up on my show. So there we go.
Nice.
But there's every means and ways possible to get onto this show. Bribes also help, but no, I've not been lucky enough yet to actually been paid. So the psychology, that is the part of wrestling that always kind of amazes me. I think, you know, obviously the moves are great, you know, all that kind of learning the fundamentals, learning the basics, then just getting better and better and better. You know, that takes time. But the psychology of a match, that is, for me, that's so hard. You know, there's even professionals still that haven't quite got it yet. So as you know, when you're starting training, that must just be like, at some point, you know, you're going to have to start working on the psychology. telling a story. How long do I sell for? What do I do in between moves? It's the things you do between the moves that just make a world of difference, mate. I just, how are you finding that?
I'm getting more of the hang of it now. I'm not gonna lie. So when I first started, I was shit. I was absolute dog shit. But then as I've gotten along, as it'll happen with pretty much everything, practice makes perfect, and you'll get along with it more and more as you go along. For me, when I first started, I was like, okay, I know what to do here. What am I doing here?
This bit in the middle.
Yeah. And I get super lost. And something that also came into effect was my memory. I have a terrible memory. I had a terrible memory, sorry. But that was because of other reasons. But as I've just said, as you go along, practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
And it'll get more and more ingrained into your brain as you go along.
It's also, again, with experience, there might be less to remember the better you get, because obviously what you'll do is, again, not everybody does it. Some people just like to plan it, meticulously, bish bash bosh bosh, all the way through. I mean, Randy Savage did that, and he's one of the best of all time. So I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's different things suits different people. But yeah, as you're going on, you could find, if it comes naturally to you or whoever's in the ring with you, you can just call it when you're out there based on fans' reaction. And then, jobs are good. And I don't have to remember as much. We'll just do what we want to do when we're out, kind of thing.
Best thing is with the experience of it. So, like, as you go on, you'll know more and more of, like, your spots, what you have to do. Big thing for me, just remembering my bits, my spots, my shine, my comeback, near falls, and pretty much everything. And then anything in between can be talked about. And then if we get lost, we'll call about it in the ring, and we'll just do our best to save the illusion.
That's it. That's the work. I had Brad Matthews on recently, and he was on about it. He's been out injured for like a month. Not a month. Fucking hell, sorry, Brad. He's been out for like a year. But whilst he was out injured, he ended up doing commentary, for shows. And he sort of said it's like one of the best things he ever did, because when you're commentating on a match, you kind of realize how much time you've got between moves. Or, if a wrestler doesn't give them enough time between moves, the commentator can't sell what they're doing. The commentator can't tell the story for them. So it's kind of, as a wrestler, it's made him appreciate, like, you hit a move, then if it's being able to gauge, like, take a couple of seconds, let the fans react to it, let the person sell it, let the commentator tell the story, and then you can crack on with the next bit, kind of thing. But it's making it all look natural. That's the hard bit, I guess.
Absolutely. Like, something that Liam said to me, and as pretty much said again and again, it's the illusion that matters. So, like, we want to make it look real and not just make it look like ballet, basically. Yeah. Like, we don't want people to think that it's fake, even though I'm always saying, like, it's planned and everything. We've got the choreograph there, but we are actually getting hit, and it will come. Like, we do get hit. We take the big bumps. It fucking sucks.
It hurts.
It does. Yeah, I've taken quite a few that have sucked.
Dude, like you said, the first thing, you sort of said, like, your first experience running the ropes, that hurts.
It does, but, like, not as... It doesn't hurt as bad as, like, taking a power driver or taking a Canadian destroyer. But, like, yeah, it still fucking hurts, but it's a combat sport. What do you expect?
Exactly. It's as we've said numerous times, it ain't ballet. It shit hurts. I was at Second Pursuit. If you want any proof of that, if anybody questions, the amount of damage that can be done, just send them the fucking Stephen Savage BA Rose match. And be like, look, there you go. That shit hurts. And that's
Absolutely.
cool. So if you could show them like show them like a Liam Slater, just a pure match, and see some of the slams or some of the submissions, like that hurts as well.
Absolutely. It hurts no matter what you take.
So it's just, oh mate, that's the thing as well. That's what always amazes me. Like, because like you mentioned it earlier, when somebody went to chop you, your instinct, put your hands up. You blocked the chop just out of pure muscle memory, out of instinct, out of every sort of, flight or fight survival thing in your body. It's like, no, block it. And that's another thing, part of the wrestling is you're having to reprogram your body to go against every instinct you've got. I mean, you're stood there and letting somebody hit you, and you're like, no, or you're deliberately landing on your back, or again, you're allowing somebody to fucking drop you on the top of your head.
Exactly. So something that's really something that's really helped for me because of like that fight or flight. So like when someone's hitting me with like a corner move, something that I did, I put my arms around and I had to physically restrain myself from moving my arms just so I can take it. And I was like, oh, okay, that sucks, but it looks better. It takes time, honestly.
Oh, but of course it does. Yeah, it's like anything. That's why you go to school. That's why you go to learn. It takes time. But I like that. I like like you sort of said. Look, just the instinct is that strong that I physically can't not do that. So like, fuck it. Let's hook the arms. You can look. That's the thing as well, though. For telling the story, for people watching, it looks genuine in the sense of like your arms. You probably see yourself tensing up, like trying to get your arms up because the ropes are there. It's like, no, mate, it's not happening. But it just sells the story even more. It makes it look more dramatic.
Exactly.
Nice. Future matches. Who's pissed you off? Let's call them out. Who do you know? Who at PPW can we expect?
Oh, okay. So, okay. So something I really want to happen. So yesterday I put a promo out on Instagram, basically, calling out not only the skinny man himself who's been bullying Jeebus for about 3 months straight.
Oh.
But also calling out the big man as well, the current PPW champion. I really want that match, but I think me and Marshall would actually make a great like mix of craft matches, because he's like high fly flippy shit, and I'm like, if I catch you, I'm gonna drop you on your head.
Yeah.
But also, with Kemper, it's a bit of a dumb idea because of he's fucking all the way up here, and I'm short. I'm only 5'6", and I'm only 187 pounds, so it's gonna suck for me. But
right, a passage, man.
But also with that, and I've seen that you've had him on, or you're gonna have him on as well. I think me and Jet Marshall would make a fucking hell of a match.
He's on next week. He's on next week. So
yeah,
I'll plant the seeds. I'm like, I was talking to Mr. Havana last week. Yeah, says he can kick your ass. See what happens.
But
But you against Warner, yes, dude, that'd be awesome. I'd happily watch that match. I think, if you did it in house as well, Jeeves was there, mate, it would make you look like a million bucks even more on the highlight reel because he's not putting Warner over. So like
absolutely.
you in that highlight reel, it looked like such a squash match. You could be like,
absolutely, fucking.
That's it, Gob. Temper, again, dude, if you know this history, you know me, you know my admiration, you know how much I love that dude. I think he's amazing. But,
Amazing.
To be the man, you've got to beat the man, and you've got to trust yourself.
It's like prison rules, So you find the biggest and baddest dude, you slap the taste out of his mouth, and then you demand. That's what I wanted to go for. Like, he's been fucking dominant ever since he won back the PPW championship. I want a fucking piece of that. And if I can, I'm getting the entire fucking cake and you can go fucking do one, Like, I want it, and I've said to him multiple times, shine that belt, son, because I'm coming for it.
Nice, dude. And that's the thing as well, you do stuff like that, you set that as, your goal. It's like, you don't have to do it first time. You can get there, you can make an impression, you can leave your respect, you can push the dude to the boundaries, earn his respect, or earn the fans will be like, okay, it was close, not this time, maybe next time.
That's also one thing I've had to do. So with my first match with Radu, I got my ass kicked, admittedly, but I also earned respect. And then with the last match with Radu, I earned even more respect. As you could have probably seen, me and my tag partner, we put the ones up, and then the crowd did the same, and it was that feeling of acknowledgement that we finally got, and my God, it feels good.
That's the thing. That's what, again, I'm gonna get fucking heat for this at some point, I'm sure. But that's what PPW do so well. They've got these in-house shows, that are on YouTube, nearly every month kind of thing. And what that does, though, it gives you the experience, obviously, of working in front of a crowd. It's not just trainees in attendance. I know like Jeeves goes, I know Nikki goes now, kind of thing. I know the FastCount peeps, Ben and Chloe have been to a few shows. There are actual fans in attendance, kind of thing. So you still have to kind of work for them, but it gives you that experience. And I don't see many other schools kind of doing that. And you've got not just the experience, but it gives you exposure in the sense of like, that stuff goes on YouTube. We've got Nathan Black's reels on fucking Instagram, getting hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views. I mean, look at the size of those reels. They're amazing. It must be just great to be a part of, kind of thing. And knowing that you kind of, so as of when you go out there and you bust out into the open, into the wild, you kind of got this exposure behind you for people to check out and see what you do.
It does, yeah. When it comes to like the training shows, they're so helpful for getting our mindsets in that kind of mode that we need for the outside shows. And also with the reels, I'll say this, and this is probably the only time I'll ever give Nathan Black any credit whatsoever. The reels, it's such an honor to be a part of them and just be able to get that exposure. That's probably one of the only good ideas that Nathan Black has ever had. I'm not even going to lie. And I'll say this many times. With the last reel that he put on, not the last one, I think the one before, where there was about 9 people in the ring and we all took bumps at once.
I was going to ask you about that, yeah.
That is why you would never have faith in Nathan Black. Ever. So I was the fourth person in. We counted up from 1 to 9.
Yep.
I was number 4. From the get-go, it sucked. It fucking sucked. And then I got all the way to number 9. And we literally had Judas Gray in there with us. Like, okay, are we all ready? I literally said out in the open, I'm fucking not. I have no faith. And then it was like, be ready. And then 1, 2, bang. I could barely walk straight because of my back.
Oh, dude. I've seen that reel. I was going to ask you about that. I was going to ask after, if you was part of that, because that's infamous for me now. I've seen it. I've watched it so many times. I'm like, just like, reading the comments, people just being like, that was fucking hell. Hate it. Somebody walked out, I think, either just after you, I think, like, somebody walked out on 4 or 5. There was literally like, that's it, I'm done.
Dion. Yeah. HMD, who you've had as well on here, he was like, yeah, I'm out. I was like, fucking cool. We'll get someone else.
Oh, see, the smart man, he knows when to be like, no, not happening.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, 9 people. It's just, I mean, it sounded awful. Just everybody's faces. I was just like, so yeah. Next time Nathan asks, should we do this? Maybe just step back and be like, tell me about it.
I might honestly, like, next time Nathan says, hey, let's do this, and I feel like it's dumb, I'm going to run all the way into the gym and just disappear. It's like, no, I'm not doing it.
No, I trusted you once. You abused the trust. I'm not doing it anymore.
Exactly. Also, one thing that I want to say as well, because I've just talked about him, HMD, fucking amazing guy. Absolutely amazing. I've been in the ring with him a few times. Number 1, best jabs in the game.
Yes.
Best fucking jabs. And also, I've had one match with him, which was a training match. It was fucking amazing. Like, HMD is such an amazing, not only wrestler, but he's an amazing guy as well. And he's absolutely fucking incredible.
I will second that. That's still, obviously, as you said, I've had him on the show previously. My takeaway from that is the dude got me seriously hyped by I was like a living kind of Red Bull at the end of that episode from, just by talking to him. It's his excitement, his enthusiasm, for just being. I still quote it to this day. I just have to kind of paraphrase because, again, I've got a shocking memory kind of thing. Same as I can't remember it word for word, but the HMD quote was basically something like, about being on the ladder. Once you start training, to be a wrestler, you're on the ladder. You're climbing the ladder. Every session, you're stepping up. Every match, you're stepping up. Regardless of where you are on that ladder, it's still the same fucking ladder that Daniel Bryan's on, or Bryan Danielson, or John Cena's been on this ladder. The Rock's been on this ladder. It doesn't matter what height on the ladder you are. It's the same ladder, and it's the same journey.
Absolutely. As soon as you start training, you're already on that ladder. And I feel like for me, with the promo that I put out, staking my claim to that PPW championship, I feel like that was the next step for me.
Dude, mate, that's going to be. I'm looking forward to how it plays out as well. Because again, going back to the in-house shows, that's what it allows you guys to do. It allows you to work on your promos. It allows you to tell stories. Because, again, as important as the stuff in the ring is, and obviously learning what you do in the ring, that is a massive part of, the business, the craft, is, like I said, telling stories outside of the ring. It's getting people emotionally invested that they want to see this match. They care about it. They want to buy a ticket to a show. So, yeah, again, saw that promo, loved it. And it's just doing stuff like that over and over again, mate. You just got to get just better and better and better. It's going to feel more natural. So,
exactly. Yeah. Like, for me, I'm not a promo guy whatsoever. I've cut one promo. It was short and sweet, which you might have seen on Pursuit. It was at the end of the triple threat match. Me, Radu, Zero.
Yeah.
Radu decided to say, "Hey, you're getting better, but I'll see you in a year." I grabbed the mic. That was a complete shoot, by the way. And I was like, "No, we're not waiting a year. I'm an impatient bastard. I will see you next fucking show, and I'm gonna kick your fucking ass."
Yeah, but again, you know, as much as you call it as a promo kind of thing, like you sort of said, it's just in the moment. It would have felt natural. And that's how it came across, kind of thing. But yeah, promos. I can imagine. You know, I was on about earlier about the psychology being a really hard thing to learn. Promos as well are one of those kind of things where it's either going to be very natural or it's going to be hard work. And I know I do this, but you make me in person, or if you put me in front of a crowd, I'd be like, what the fuck do I say? I won't have a Scooby.
Absolutely lost.
Yeah, I ain't got a Scooby what to do. I've got nothing but respect for somebody who can stand there, you know, with a microphone and address an audience or tell a story, get the point across. I mean, but again, best place for it. When I first spoke to Kemper, he just started picking up the microphone. He was just building up his confidence. You know, a year later, you know, I saw him on Saturday cutting a promo at True Grit, basically just fucking calling out True Grit management kind of thing. And it was like, yes, that's it. That's what it takes. You know, that's where you eventually get to.
Absolutely. For me, promos, they don't come natural, but as you keep on trying, you'll get there. And I feel like that's what happened with Kemper as well. Like when he picked up the mic for the first time, it was like, yeah, okay. But then as he's gotten on, he's gotten a lot better. Now his promos are fucking amazing.
Dude, and yeah, it's just practice, mate. Or either that, or just become like a Vuzic and just don't fucking talk. Just kick people's heads off.
Vucic is someone that I really want to have a match with. I can't lie. Like frigging, I know that because I've been to the PPW shows that he was on, and his European uppercuts are pretty much like Jet's chops. Fucking hardcore, but I'm like, you know what? Let's fucking do it. I've took headbutts off of Radu, and I got concussions from them. But fuck it. Let's do it. Smash mouth, everything. Let's do it.
Steel sharpens steel. That's the only way you're gonna get better. Take it, get back up, and bosh. Dude, yeah, music, like what I said. Well, I just again, you know, that's another match I think would be cool to see. And another one, you know, like it's kind of like a proving ground kind of template kind of thing. You know, you've got this guy like yourself. You know, you've got this just smashing pound sort of style. You know, fighter sort of mindset. You know, who's one of the best in the country at the minute, of a similar stature, of a similar style. Fucking go for him. You know, make your mark, earn that respect. You know, put your flag in the ground and be like, look, I'm here. You know, hey, yeah, I might not be successful first time, but you know, there will be a second time and there will be a third time, and eventually, I will beat you. And at that point, everyone's like, ah.
Thing is though, is that that's what happened with Radu. I really don't want a similar storyline with Vucic, like him being my stepdad. Is like, no, absolutely not.
But yeah, no, I do. Yeah, not to kind of be not to be repetitive, but just like, you know, like I say, you had that with Radu, but you know, again, that you had that with Radu, and it's like, right, okay, you went through the battle to get his respect, but not exactly the same. No, not a copy and paste kind of thing. But again, love Radu, no, not to besmirch him kind of thing, but he's, you know, of a certain place. And then you step up to Vucic, you know, you kind of go through the same journey with him. And then, you know, it's like Kemper. You know, it's like basically end of game bosses. Just bop, 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 bop. Yeah, I just think, again, it's just me just spitballing. I just fantasy book shit. Sometimes it's good stuff. Sometimes I just talk bollocks. So, you know, I'll hold my hands up. Dude, just clocked the time. Mate, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us. It's been an absolute pleasure. Gone actually well over the hour mark, so apologies. But yeah,
the honor is absolutely mine, brother. The honor is mine.
There's no honor. It's just talking to me. But no, you enjoyed it though, yeah?
Awesome.
Nice. Let people know where they can find you on. You're an Insta guy, aren't you?
I'm on pretty much everything apart from Twitter. Twitter can go fuck itself. So Instagram, I fight along 48. YouTube is currently Ichidojo 68. However, I am going to change that. Facebook, that's personal. TikTok, The Lone Fighter. And then, yeah, can pretty much find me on there. There's Threads as well, which is also I Fight Along 48. Yeah.
That's like the side thing of Instagram, and I ain't jumped on Threads yet. I don't really know much about Threads. Don't know whether Ash does. He's my Insta guy, so he might be Thread wise. But
it's basically a new version of Twitter, but with not so much rated R stuff.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, obviously, you know, we'll tag you in stuff as well anyway. I know obviously Ash will, you know, tag you in and try probably, you know, collab with you on the Insta post when this gets uploaded. So if you're not following, please do keep an eye on the stuff. Check out obviously, you know, what Mr. Havana is posting, what he's up to, who he's challenging, you know, and yeah, just support him as well. You know, like I say, support Pursuit, support, you know, these guys. Anyone who takes the time out of the day to come talk to me, I will always hype up. I will always, you know, support. So please do the same. And yeah, obviously, you know where we are. Followers on Instagram. Speak to Ash if you like at WTLS316, and I am on the X at WTLS420. On Facebook as well. But yeah, that's it. You know, thank you for watching. And in the words of Brad Matthews again, I will sign off by saying thank you, and always remember, work the left side.
Yeah, buddy.